Good evening to probably no one because we came on a little bit early, but welcome to another Tuesday Night Live. One person, it's probably me. But welcome to Tuesday Night 4C Comics. We wanted to come on a little bit early before all of the hullabaloo of the Kamala update that we're going to do, and we're going to look at some more creators of people who have brought stuff for the auction and talk to the gentlemen who are running it and all that stuff. But we wanted to talk to you guys about our wonderful weeks that we've had for the last two that you guys haven't been here and we haven't been here. First, I'd like to welcome my counterparts, Mr. Ken Carson and Mr. Chris Bacon. How are you guys doing, guys? Guys.
I'm still pretty freaking tired from New York. I don't know. Ken probably had a little worse than me, but I'm still pretty damn
Craig's
tired.
in the crowd, right? Oh.
Look at this. Ooh.
I don't think I've sent her the invoice for that yet, but we'll get to it.
There you go, Linda. You get the exclusive. But yeah, so we're gonna talk to you guys. She's like, "Woo!" We're gonna talk to you guys a little bit about what's going on in over here with this guy. What's up, Becker?
Becker's looking svelte.
He is.
Oh, hey, Becker.
That's the skinny side of the screen now. Jesus. Good to see you, buddy. How are you doing? You got to say something so I know your audio works.
I just had to. I was literally waiting for it to link up.
Oh no, you're good. I just want to make sure. Yeah. So we're here. We're going to talk a little bit about our shows we did. We had a show in Dallas with the lovely wife of Ken Carson, Miss Renee and Annika, where they did that show with a bunch of creators, and we did a little show called New York Comic Con with Chris and Ken and I. Ken did get worse than the con crud, unfortunately. He did come back with the vid. He got the COVID, but he's recovered. He's recovered now. He's so much better than he was. So we're happy to hear that. And I don't know how everybody always gets sick. And I don't know. I knock on wood. I've snuck through. So we'll see.
We've been doing 4 years. We've been doing conventions now. First time I've gotten sick after a convention.
Wow.
First time.
That's funny because
First time I've been sick, I think, since I had the Omicron variant 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
That's funny because the first time I did a show with you guys, I got COVID.
That would plan it. Yeah.
I remember that.
And I was the only one wearing a mask that whole weekend.
You were probably getting yourself sick. You were breathing in your own, I don't know. But so all right. Well, since we're here and Renee and Annika aren't, we'll talk to you a little bit about, and for you, Becker, we'll talk a little bit about New York Comic Con. So it was, let me just tell you, it was an experience getting up there. There were fairies involved. There were many bags.
What was his name?
Yeah. There were bathtubs and rickshaws. There's all kinds of stuff we could tell you about. But we'll start from.
Thanks, Becker.
We'll start with the fun, good stuff. We got to meet some celebrities. That was pretty cool. We did a little 4C photo shoot.
Dude, I saw that. I saw the photo shoots.
Right? Yeah.
Mega jealous.
I know. I tell you what, man. Ken, tell him exactly what Brolin said to you when we walked into the room.
We walked in, shook Benny's hand. I said hello to Elizabeth Olsen, who looked like she was wanting to run out of the room. And I stood next to Josh Brolin. He said, "Is that you on your shirt?" And I said, "Yeah, it is."
That's hilarious. Yeah, I saw that comment in the 4C group.
Yeah. Ken had all the moments. That was good. I was so happy for him.
I don't know. You and Elizabeth Olsen looked like the couple photo that comes with my frame from Target.
My other one, yeah. Listen, we were going for it. We were doing.
Did it not? Did that? Anybody else see that? They just look like if you just Googled white couple. Jeff and
Google white couple Olsen. And me and Elizabeth Olsen pops up. Yes,
it's pretty true.
Have that trend. Me and Elizabeth Olsen couple. I'll take that every day of the week.
You guys looked natural. You looked like you'd been living together for a while.
She would have looked way more resentful if that was the fact. But it was a lot of fun.
Honestly, I've seen a lot of con photos, and that was one of the better looking like natural ones.
Yeah, well, I knew that we were going to be doing the 4C one for the big group photo. So with a private one I had with her, I wanted to look a little more just average Joe normal. So I had a nice little sweater and stuff and just kind of went in. And you never know how they're going to be dressed. Because we went, like, Bacon had taken a picture with her the day before. And so I knew it was going to be different outfits and stuff. So it worked out really well that we all didn't get the same pictures from the same day, so it didn't look very like
see if you can sell the picture to Walmart to just stuff in frames.
Absolutely. White couple. You need white couple? This is us right here. And I do own the rights to the photo, which is the beautiful thing that Chris Bacon told me, is that we own the rights to these photos, which is why the 4C one will be advertising for us. It'll be nice.
Like, I just picture a little word bubble like, I'm making a roast tonight.
Barbecue again. But no, that was a lot of fun. Exactly. But it was actually a lot smoother. There weren't a whole lot of people, I guess, getting the big at our time slot, getting the big shoot. So it looked very menacing. Bill Morrison was going to come with us to take that picture, and then he just didn't think he could wait, so he left. And unbeknownst to him, it was like 5 minutes later when they just told us, "Come on in." And it went very quickly and was very nice. And yeah, it was a good time. So if anybody's never done one of those photo shoot, New York does it pretty well. It goes as good as you could expect it to go for that.
I've been seeing Mr. Bill Morrison and Scott Shaw getting shout outs on Svengoolie lately.
Oh, listen, that book's out and it's gorgeous.
That book was at New York Comic Con. Bill doesn't even have it copies yet.
That book was at New York Comic Con. Dude, they're actually hard to get. I don't even know where you would find them.
Yeah, so
I have multiple copies sitting next to me.
Yeah.
So people were bringing them up to the table, and Bill was signing one. He's like, "I don't even have a copy of this."
Yeah, he didn't get his allotment before. But so anyway, so that was one fun thing we did for us. I told the guys I wanted to have a little more fun at this show and try to not just work the whole time. So of course that was probably the only time we weren't really working the whole time. But it turned out really good.
But hey, you got some photos, yeah.
Got some photos. We had Matt Groening came by the table on Sunday for a drive-by. That was very welcome and unexpected. He didn't sign anything. He didn't stay very long. He just knew that if he came to the table, like, it would just be a mob scene. So he just came by, wanted to say hi to Bill because they're such really good friends, and they say hi to him. And he was there for probably like 2 minutes tops. And
yeah, we want to talk to him about doing another National Cartoonist Society Foundation signing. So he came by the table to talk to us about that.
So quick in and out for that one. So what else is going on? So we've also Dana Picciotto came all the way from Australia via Italy. From Italy, from Australia to Italy to New York. So that was he spent the most of the show. He was doing a lot of just communicating with people he'd never really talked to in person before. Larry Hama and him worked on the book for Wolverine 50. So he got to meet him in person, and a lot of, just around with some of his artist colleagues, and did a lot of stuff, but he was networking the whole time and doing some really cool sketching. And we premiered his sketchbook at that show. He also brought it to Tennessee last weekend. So he had a bunch of those. So yeah, it was a good show. It was very nice to meet him in person. He gave me a wonderful print of my She-Hulk he drew for me. It's all nice in color. So that was pretty cool.
He didn't give me shit.
Yeah, I know.
I brought him over to meet Tex. That was something else.
2 Ghost Rider artists, crazy.
Tex was shot out of a cannon. Yeah. Daniel loved every second of it.
Yeah, that guy is.
A head sketch.
People have met Tex before.
20 minutes.
He's on 11. That guy's always on 11.
Speaking of anybody who got a Tex commission, he said he's going to have them done by hopefully Monday. He sent me some pictures of what he's done so far. Let's just say that he's doing a little bit more than a hit sketch.
So you'll be pleasantly surprised, and it's worth the wait. Sorry, guys. It's Tex is Tex. He's gonna follow through. It's just when he got to New York, he had his he had stuff that was just
he's around too many people, too many friends, and there was just no time for him to.
Yeah, but
do we also have an update on Jay Lee and his list?
Yes, Jay Lee is ready for Bacon to tell me the invoice numbers.
Oh, so you have the art. Oh, perfect.
Yep.
That's good.
It's all
Good.
here.
All here.
All right. Well, when my life stops blowing up, I'll call you and we'll go over the invoice numbers.
There you go. Yes, that's
See that? People in 4C, don't bug me.
They all bug me. Don't worry.
Well, we were in New York.
And let me rephrase. I don't mind being bugged. I'm just going to give you the real answer. So I don't mind.
While we were in New York, we had Annika and Renee. We're in Dallas. Renee's actually here. Come here, Renee. She's embarrassed. Annika's not coming on.
Hey, Renee, you have to be live.
It's not you. It's not Bruce I'm talking about. Renee.
You're the only one that can talk about Dallas, Renee, so you have to.
Yep, you got to come on. Annika said she's out. She's been in meetings all day.
I'll talk about Dallas. I'll handle it.
I guess I can't.
So it was a time.
There were people.
Of course, we saw people. Various conversations were had.
Bruce kicked out my light. Sorry. I don't know.
There was a Scott shot.
You're good.
So Renee was in Dallas with Annika, and they were with Scott Shaw, Ron Wilson, Pasquale Ferry, and Jesus Marino.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a very busy show, but they did a lot of commissions, and more importantly, she came home with art.
Oh God!
Lots and lots, enough art for her not to be able to even lift it into the overhead.
Oh my God! It was so
exactly.
heavy. Annika wouldn't let me check the bag. Put it in the check bag. She says, "No, you cannot check it."
Excuse me.
You have to
Excuse me. You get out of here.
I heard a different story from Monica.
I had no room. No. Oh my God!
And then I loved getting the video of how tiny your room was.
I know.
Don't even know what a tiny room is, Renee. You don't even know.
God.
This square right here represents the size of Bacon and Jeff's room at New York.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Oh my God.
We slept standing up. That's how small my room in New York was.
That seems like a dream to me.
I had just forgotten about it, and you guys had to bring it back up.
This is the recap show.
Bacon, the experience in New York for you in a hotel room could not be surpassed by the experience of you in Secaucus in a hotel room.
Do you read the bottom of what my name says? Like read what it says underneath Bacon.
I got you, but I figured Secaucus, New Jersey, might be lower on your list.
Apparently, sleeping in a tub was better than sleeping in a closet in New York.
Closet.
Yes.
Bacon has a reputation for being a little bit of a snorer. So when all of us in one room, we stopped off in Secaucus that night before we went to New York, and we made up a nice little bed in the bathtub for Bacon so we could shut the door.
I offered him to sleep in the king size bed with me. He said no.
Nope.
We could have put the whole 1 foot on the floor deal like they did on Three's Company. We could have made it work.
Yeah.
No, it was.
Listen to this slander campaign about Bacon snoring for you.
If I had done
I'm
that,
over it.
If I had done that, no, I mean it's true, but thank you, Becker. It is true. But this is why I love.
I'll tumble for you.
It's just that cord you pulled out.
Look, I mean, it was the first day of the show, and it was either two of us got some sleep and one of us was completely dead to the world, or all of us were dead to the world. So I said, bathtub it is.
But wait, listen, we got up nice. I went downstairs that day. I made a plate of breakfast for Bacon. I brought it up to the room. He didn't even have to leave and eat breakfast with the common people. Like
it actually, believe it or not, that actually did help because I don't usually eat breakfast, and so it gave me a little extra push to get through that Thursday.
That was the first day of the show, but it was all good. Listen, we took a rickshaw the first day from the show because we showed up with all of our bags, and all I know is that Ken and Bill were in one, and Bacon and I were in another, and we had 4 bags, huge bags apiece on our rickshaws, and then the brake broke on the one that Ken and Bill were on, so they had to get off and get in another rickshaw and to take us to the hotel because there was no way we were dragging those bags 7 New York blocks. It was just not happening.
So the 4 of us are in rickshaws driving down the streets of New York with It's Raining Men playing at full blast inside this rickshaw.
Badasses.
You guys, I was
laughing to her. I couldn't.
I blocked all this shit out, man, and now you guys are just bringing it all back.
Listen, it's been a while. Listen, we talked about how we did our photo shoots on Thursday and Friday. By the time we got to Sunday, it felt like we had done that at a show a week before or something. It was just
2 weeks.
Yeah, we were in a car driving back to New Jersey, and somebody brought that up, and I was like, "That was months ago. What are you talking about?"
Yeah, exactly. What are you talking about? But no, anyway, all right, so it was a lot of fun, guys. We did a lot of work. We worked really hard. We filled in a nice little Facebook Live in there on Saturday night.
We got to see some 4C faithful. Jason Bignola, great to see you, my friend. If you're not,
I had a picture I meant to send you so you could put it up, but I didn't get a chance to send it to you. But yeah, Jason was there. It was great to see him in person in the real world, and we hung out with Eric Larson a little bit since we had done that show with him the week before, and Ken and I picked up a couple pieces from him, and I set up some stuff for some other faithful. Like look at this. Look what Ken got. Look at that.
I like
Savage
that.
Dragon, just killing it. No, he does not. He doesn't. We do not have any beasts. No beast sketches came home with us, so don't.
I saw the beast on his desk, but I don't know if that was the new one or the old one, but I saw it there.
Yeah.
But that was like 10 minutes before the show closed. So
yeah.
That was probably
he had a redrawn one. But yeah, so we got to talk to him. We talked to a lot of creators. We're trying to get some more people for the live shows, guys. We're trying to bring those back a little bit. We do know that people are tightening their belts now. It's kind of the end of the con season. That people are starting to come back, but we are still networking and trying to get that stuff. We still have a couple shows left. Ken's got one show he's doing in person. Bacon's got San Francisco that he's doing. I think that's the last 2 shows of the year for 4C. It's been a very busy year. I myself, I did 10. I think Bacon did 28. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, 28.
Becker just said, "No, I'm not doing those shows with you guys."
Becker did.
I don't get invited, man. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play.
Always invited, but
not really.
Always.
It's not really.
But before I think because we do have a live show to announce, but I think before we do that, we should tell everyone that Jeff actually got to participate in a Burger King story.
These Burger King stories are real and they happen, and I am witness to one. Let's just say
I'll let you two tell it better because I was just the one standing in line waiting.
Listen, I'm gonna cut to the chase. We stopped off at one of those wonderful in the middle of the highway Burger Kings.
We stopped off at the exit 13 on the turnpike.
Yeah, easy. Get in, placed our order, sitting down, waiting for our food till we find out that they basically their computers went down, and everything was lost. They only had some people's names for their orders. They had no ability to refund anybody, so it took us about, I want to say, just south of an hour to get a handful of burgers and fries and drinks.
Yep,
and they were worth the wait.
Oh, well, when I finally got my burger, my blood sugar had hit the bottom level. So, Jeff and Ken were like super upset, but we got in the car, we started driving. I was just quiet. I was like, burger time.
Yeah. I took over driving. I head back so we could all get back and everybody could eat their food. And we got back and we stopped off in DC. I got them some hotel rooms for the night in town. And then everybody went on their merry way. And then, 5 days later, Ken got home. I'm just kidding. It was like 2 days later. But we're all back. We're all safe. It was a good time. It was well worth it. I don't know if we do New York again, it's going to take we're going to do some serious overhauling on making it work a little better. But, this was sort of our first New York.
No.
Never.
Bacon will not be doing New York again. He's done.
Never again.
Done with the
But Bacon, will you be back to Kansas City?
Yes.
There you go.
Bacon loves me.
I do.
Yeah. And Jason Harris, they're always productive shows. We put in the work. And we got some pizza. It was good pizza. We got some we went to an Irish pub a couple nights. That was fun. We didn't get much food, but we did get a lot of booze.
Jeff had a great time that night, but I'll leave it at that.
Listen, I felt like a normal person for a first time in a long time. It was good.
For anybody who's on right now, because we didn't really start the real show yet till 7:00.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have a guest or 4 tonight. For the Cartoonist Kamala thing.
So I'm not in the way.
We need you, Ben.
You're gonna miss Art Adams if you do.
I know.
Hey, Becker,
Or we
you
can
can
hop
stay.
off. We got plenty. We don't know if we're going to fill up the room. Stop always trying to get out of the show, Becker.
Oh,
Becker,
Listen.
if we fill up the room, I'll drop off. Don't worry, man. I'm not as
You know
good
what?
at
If we fill up the show, I'll drop off because I got stuff to do.
Ron wanted In-N-Out burgers.
Oh yeah,
So
we're having pizza. They're getting In-N-Out burgers.
Oh yeah, they're getting In-N-Out, and we're having a hour and a half long trip to Burger King.
Yeah. Listen, I will say one thing that we haven't talked about is with all that art that came home from Dallas, we got to see some insane pieces by both artists. But you have to remember that Jesus used to be the inker for one great late Carlos Pacheco, and we saw and have a few covers that are just
6,000
mind blowing. So I'll just leave it at that. But yeah,
I want to show a couple other pieces I got.
Yeah.
So I missed out on a piece on the Cartoonist for Kamala auction. It was
that's not how you show pieces, Ken.
that's how Ken does it.
Well, I guess I'll hang around for a few more minutes until he comes back.
Yeah, considering you're the only person who can let
it. If I hit the space bar. Anyway, so I missed out on a Spy versus Spy piece from
Sergio.
Not Sergio. What is it? A Cupper. I missed it by $5. So I told him. He goes, "You want one?" So.
Yeah, that was very cool, especially because we were driving down the road and Ken was trying to bid. So I was holding his phone for him, and I was like, "Do you want me to bid? Do you want me to bid?" And
awesome! Look at that.
He lost it, but then he walked over to his table and told me he missed it by 5, and that's what.
I like this one much better, to be honest.
That's
and then
awesome.
Bacon might be able to help me with this one. I was just walking by talking to an artist, and I was flipping through his portfolio, and I saw this piece, and I was like, "Holy smokes!"
What?
I can't remember the guy's name, but like, holy smokes, that's amazing.
Look on the back.
Yeah,
it's gorgeous.
Yeah, he's started on the back, but it's his version of Frankenstein.
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty amazing,
and it really wasn't that expensive either. It was kind of.
That's why I bought it. It was so cheap. I was like, I can't let that go.
Yeah, good art at a good price is always a good deal.
And we're joined by Mr. Dave Warren. How you doing,
Dave Warren?
Good evening, everyone. How we doing?
We started the show early because we wanted to talk about our trips to New York and Dallas, respectively, that we had 2 weekends ago.
Oh,
So,
I would have loved to. I'd love to hear about it because I'm looking for some New York Con feedback. So,
well, you can read Bacon's name and you can see exactly how things go in New York.
Yeah, let's see. Right under his name.
I think it's just a statement in general. I think Bacon went into New York with a hatred.
My advice: don't ever go to New York.
Oh, God, way to sugarcoat it, man.
Hey,
that's
well, what New York? You know what I'm saying?
True that. Oh, you guys crack me up. I'm gonna miss you all after this auction. I'm telling you.
We want you to come on and do a sketch show with us one day, Dave.
Yeah, Dave.
Oh, I would love to do that. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of the Cartoonist for Kamala, as we're all here.
Renee's leaving.
Bye.
Oh, bye, Renee.
Bye.
Monica's not here to corroborate any of her stories. So.
Yeah.
We do, just before we hop into Cartoonists, before we hop into that, we do have one live show that's coming up. I don't know if there's any more planned, but I'll be at NC Comic-Con on November 8th and 9th. And on November 7th, which is the Friday night beforehand. Oh, sorry. November 9th and 10th is the con. November 8th will be the night of the show. We're going to have Danny Strips on, and she's going to be doing her 6x9 head to busts. I believe they're going to be $200, but just wanted to let you guys know we do have a couple of live shows coming up. So That's going to be a special Friday.
Actually, we were supposed to have Matt Horak tonight, but we had to push it back, so we're going to reschedule Matt. But on the 12th, we're going to have Mike Kazala, who is a famous cartoonist. Mm-hmm. And then the week after Kazala, on the 19th, we will have June Brigman and her husband, Tom Richardson, will be on.
Wow.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so we're finishing the year strong, guys.
Today. Thank you, our buddy Filippo Marzo. Thank you, Filippo. We booked that today. So get your power pack ready, Becker.
Yep.
I like power pack.
There wasn't a speedball in there, was there? No speedball.
No. But we did. Renee came home with a ton of art. Like she came up with these Waller and Wildstorm?
Wildstorm, yeah. Waller versus Wildstorm. It was a Black Label book.
Yeah, so all the pages are twice ups, and so they're all 17 by 22, except for the DPSs, which are 34 by 22, and I think there's 4 or 5 of them.
So those are all Jesus Moreno. It was a really good story, and we have a lot of art from that we're going to be making available. So if you guys are a fan of that, we'll have those art, and we're gonna price these. We want to put this art in people's hands because it's too nice to just sit in an oversized portfolio. So we're really gonna make this stuff available for you guys. So twice up.
We're going to be selling that art with Clan McDonald.
Yep.
So we will be doing a live show with Clan McDonald, selling all of the art. And like Jeff was saying, Carlos Pacheco covers 2 of them. One is DC.
One's Marvel, one's DC. And they're both
the Marvel one, we already have 4 buyers who said they want it.
Yep. And it's from 1993, I believe.
And it's from an adjacent X-Men book.
Yeah. That's all we'll say. Unless Ken can't hold the secret for the rest of the show, which is very possible. But anyways, getting back to
more of the cartoonist for Kamala people coming in. So we have Mr. Steve Gordon.
Steve Gordon. There we go. How are you doing, sir?
Good. How are you guys?
Excellent. We're just getting into it now. We're getting ready to talk about some of this wonderful artwork. And we thank everybody who donated art and everybody who's purchased art and everybody who's just hanging out and watching because we all love art. And that's why we're all here. So we already went through. Oh, there you go. Look at this.
Last minute edition.
Oh, and he's not here to see it.
Go.
Bacon, look what he drew for you.
Make him big, Ken.
You look eerily like
Bacon. You're muted, Bacon.
I said, "Ooh, I love it."
That's all I wanted from you.
Yes, thank you so much. That's very kind. That's very kind.
Well,
it kind of looks like me too.
You missed the story about how Bacon slept in a tub, so he really hates.
There's these moments in life, like not seeing Nirvana and Led Zeppelin, and missing the story about Bacon in the tub. That's
the 3. That's the 3 right there.
Not even in that order.
Not right. No disrespect to Bacon, you know what I'm saying? But this will haunt me forever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, for anybody out there who might not know who Steve is, Steve actually worked on the X-Men animated series, correct?
X-Men Evolution.
X-Men Evolution.
And Wolverine and the X-Men. So I was not on the earlier version. No.
Excellent.
Yeah, and just to answer something from the chat, number one Marvel fan, the Art Adams piece is on eBay. It's a 5-day auction. There is about 4 days of the 5-day auction left. And when I went to bed last night, I was the leading bidder. And when I woke up today, I was not. So we're gonna have to see where that goes. It started off at $1,000, and within about 10 minutes, it was up to about $6,000. So
yeah,
I don't know where. I think it's still at 6,400. I could be wrong, but we can. You can just there it is right there. 65 now. There you go.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Yeah,
look at that beautiful piece.
It's gorgeous. I love her shoes.
Furry boots. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm old. I couldn't help it.
All good. It made me laugh. That's all that matters.
Well, and there's not just that piece, guys. There's still a ton of awesome pieces up. All you have to do is you can go on if you're on Facebook and you haven't joined the Cartoonist for Kamala, you can join that, and then there's lots of links there. We'll try to put a link in the chat so you guys can check out all the art that's up there. But if you just search anything for that, any one of these, they'll pop up and you can see all the other art that's out there. Ken's going to show some art that we have right now that this is all up that's going to be ending in the next couple days. I wish we could blow them up more, but
yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I can show them individually.
Yeah, but
here's the piece that Steve.
Look at that.
Yeah,
that's
really
very cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love that.
I love how she took her glove off. That's right. Don't mess with her.
Yeah. Oh, there's some new ones. Oh, look at this one. Greg Espinoza. Bill and Jeff Isherwood. He actually gave this to Bill, I believe, at New York. We were talking about it, and he said, I'd like to donate something. And the next day, Bill came up to the room with this.
Yeah, I didn't even talk about all the great conversations we had in the hotel with DeCarlo and Saviak and Isherwood.
Can you really have a good conversation with DeCarlo? I mean,
listen, he was listen, Elizabeth D'Amico was at the show, so that was pretty much where his focus lied.
Wow, I was at a con in Washington State, and I have Bill listed so much I haven't even seen. I literally just got back in town a few hours ago. That's amazing. It's amazing what's up there right now.
Yeah, there were literally only about 5 or 6 pieces before that Art Adams got put on yesterday, and now it looks like there's like 20 or 25 pieces up. So that's great. We're trying to go out of this strong. We got 1 week left, people. 1 week left to make a difference, and that's pretty much why all of us, took part in this. Not just to get art into people's hands, which we love doing and we do on a regular basis, but we just
On Saturday we're going to do another live show like this, and Art is actually going to come on and be live when the auction ends.
So there you go. So I think he still has the art with him. I'm pretty sure. I don't think he's sent it to Bill yet.
Yeah, I don't think Bill has it. I'm pretty sure Bill doesn't have it.
So maybe. So listen, it might be with Art when he's on the show, and he can hold, and he can hold it up while that bidding ends. You guys can really see, some of the detail, and he can talk about it. And obviously,
if somebody we know wins it, maybe we'll send them a link and they can come and join and talk to Art about the piece.
Yeah.
I just real quickly, I just want to say that before I left last week, we were over 35,000 so far, and what we've been able to raise. I don't know where we are right now, but this looks like we're going to really finish out strong. And I can't tell you, what, even though we're just a few days away, how much this helps down ballot candidates, like across the board. What this does, and it's just amazing to see all these people come on board, and especially for us to have like such a strong finish. People are still like, we've had to turn people away just because the election's a few days away. There's only so much we can do, right? But really just so I couldn't be prouder of the community and where we're at right now, and excited to see how we finish this thing out.
Yeah, it's a nervous and exciting time, and just hope it all ends the way we'd like. And the whole goal is just, we just kind of just want this country to calm down a little bit and start getting back to its roots. And I think it's obvious that one side is trying to be positive and another side's trying to paint a picture of the country that's I don't know, end of the worldish, and I think that like I said, without doing too much public speak, I just I think that there's a reason why we're here for Kamala. So
next Tuesday we'll be live with team coverage of the closing polls everywhere across. No,
exactly. No, we will not. Yes. By the way, guys, no show next Tuesday. I think we're going to leave that up to what happens in the election. Sorry, Dave. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that early on when Bill and I first started to formulate how we were going to make this into a public thing. We talked about what kind of content we wanted and what kind of message we wanted to put forward. So we've really shied away from anything that's overtly, inflammatory or violent. And also in the responses, because when we've done this, not only Bill and I, but other artists who have posted in support of it, you get those slings and arrows, right? It's the internet. So everybody comes out and Boris and all the trolls are out there just hitting you hard. And we've responded in a way that we want the country to be, which is civil and loving. And it's like, hey, man, I respect your opinion. We're trying to do our thing. You do your thing, and kumbaya, really. Yeah. We're really trying to get to that point. So when I talk about how proud I am, that's what I'm the most proud of. This community here has acted with dignity, respect, and showed up big time, man. Yeah. And we're ready to, kick some ass.
Yeah, guys. Cool. One week left, and I think the most important thing out there is just if you're eligible, and God, I hope you're registered. Just vote. Just don't just not vote. It's just not voting is just not something. It's not why we're Americans. It's not what we earn the right to do by as a country and everybody growing. It's a great country, and a lot of countries don't have the ability to do this and have a say. So don't ignore yours and just get out there and vote. Whoever you're voting for, obviously, who most of us are going for, but just get out there and do it, and even local politics. Just because this is an election year for the presidency doesn't mean there's other elections that happen in other years. Vote for those too. Don't just pay attention every 4 years. Just get out there and try and make a difference. And I don't know what else to say.
Right on, Linda.
That's right. I mean, listen, I live in Florida. There is absolutely almost no way Kamala Harris has a chance of winning because we're such a deep red state, and all the gerrymandering that DeSantis, I said it, you're a cheater. Bring it, DeSantis. All the gerrymandering, there's no way, but I'm still going to vote. I still got to cast my vote. I still got to be heard. Maybe something will happen. Who knows?
Look, it's the beauty of our democracy, right? I mean, we can debate the Electoral College and all of these things, but we do have a voice. Your vote does matter. It does. And, it's very easy to get on our soapboxes on social media and rant about this and rant about that. But to me, if you don't cast a vote, you're really not participating in the process. So this is a unique right we have as a democracy, and we're really on the brink of maybe losing that right. And so if you enjoy these freedoms of us being able to come on here and talk freely about how we feel, this is a really important election. And I'm good with however this turns out, knowing that we've done our best.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know the other side's going to do their best as well. I just think we're just a much more handsome bunch,
I mean, this is basically it's like 6 models on
Jesus,
screen.
I'm telling you, it's like I'm looking
clearly
at Brad Pitt, George Clooney. I'm lost. Matt Damon. Bacon's looking like Jack Black back in his School of Rock days. You know what I'm saying? When he was hot.
Well, I'll take that.
Oh, but let's see. All right. So Ken, what's the next piece that's ending? When is that one ending? If you have a second to check out the.
Let's see.
I'm pretty sure I know. Like I said, I know that the Arthur Adams piece is
2 hours left. Daniel Boris pieces.
Daniel Boris pieces 2 hours left. Okay. So everything's, guys, it's going to be ending over the next couple days. So this one's ending tonight, and there's going to be stuff ending almost every day, all the way up until, I don't know how much longer we're going to be listing stuff. Just because, once again, we do these 5-day auctions to give everybody a chance. and try to earn as much money as we can, but want the auctions in 7 days. So, I mean, the elections in 7 days.
The election,
so.
yeah. Did they do that on purpose? Put the election on Guy Fawkes Day? Like, is this some sort of rib?
I'm so happy that someone else noticed that. I was just
yeah. It's like, do I need to go get Natalie Portman and start the revolution or what?
Real quick though, back to the different politics and stuff that's going on. You know, when all this stuff started in 2016, between the rift really started to grow between Republicans and Democrats. I was posting a lot on Facebook, and I was getting a little kickback and stuff. But one of the things I posted was a quote by Thomas Jefferson, which is, "I never considered a difference of opinion in politics, religion, or philosophy as a cause to withdraw from a friend." And that's the truth. No matter who you're voting for or anything, if it doesn't matter to me. Okay, we don't have to. We can have a difference of opinion in a lot of things, but we can still be friends. We actually had a creator. Jeff and I were supposed to do an interview with a creator, and up until an hour before the show, everything was confirmed. And then we started the show, and he did a no-show. And the reason why is because he saw the things I was posting on my page, and he didn't agree.
Yeah,
I'll Chuck Dixon. No problem saying his name either.
Yeah. Without sharing a name, I'll give you a quick experience I had this weekend, which was left me puzzled. A celebrity that I've known for a long time and know the family. I'm known them for years, and closely years ago, did this con with me, and went, oh man, before everything gets going, I got to take some time and run over and see my friend. And I got this frozen cold reception, and I walked away perplexed. It was like I was invisible, or it just really was off-putting. And I went, wow, I know this guy. I know this family. How weird, right? So then I went back and let myself think about it for a little bit, and went, okay, maybe they were stressed about getting ready for the day, and all of that, right? Maybe you were reading more into it than was there. But I kept ruminating on why did this happen, right? What could possibly cause this cold reception? So on Sunday, my grandson came to visit, who isn't even 2 years old yet. He's cute as a button. And I'm walking around the show floor in the morning, and I run into this person again. And I'm like, hey, man, how you doing? Blah, 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 blah. And the same thing again. I went, oh, this is my grandson. Yeah. And cold as ice. And I walked away, and I went, the only thing I can think of is that we have a political divide, because we were kumbaya, I hate to use that word again, a few years ago. But now I'm somewhat of a distant, I said, I felt like a ghost. I felt like I was talking to somebody who was just staring at me like you're not even here. And it was off-putting. And I went, man, I hope we can get past this as a country, because I used to enjoy your company, dude. You know what I mean? We used to talk about stuff we would collaborate on and do together. And that doesn't stop because we have a political difference of opinion. We can disagree, but we can also still find some commonality with one another. And, I think, like I said, I hope that's where we go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I used to always think that most people were at least when I grew up, you were, there was the middle, and then you were conservative, you were a little off to one side, or you were, liberal, you were a little off to the other side. And sometime in the last, like Ken said, around 2016, maybe a little earlier, people just went to their sides of the room and stopped communicating and stopped talking. And it became either I'm right or you're right. It can't be a little bit of both. And I mean, it doesn't have to be that way. It used to be where you went there, you supported who you supported, whether you won or you lost, your life went on. And, people, And I mean, the whole point is that everybody has a view of what they want for America, and there's no bad guy in this. There's no, Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. There's no Doomly. It's everybody wants. They all want to do what's best. They just differ in opinions. So I don't understand why that has to create such a divide.
Well, to be fair, it's more than a difference of opinion. It's a difference in morality too.
Yeah.
When someone wants to take away equality from a group of people, it's not just, gee, why can't we all get along? I mean, you guys are, I assume, all straight white guys. So you're kind of in a different area than a lot of people. I've got gay sons. I've got a black daughter. I mean, I'm Jewish. So it's a little bit different.
Sure.
Look at I have my significant other is Mexican. My daughter is in a mixed marriage, and I have a mixed grandson. Yeah. And I feel you. I think what I try to do is tread this very thin line of being polite, and like I said, trying to, because Steve, I agree with you 100%. This morning before I got on the road, I'm sitting in a hotel room and I saw this little quick snippet of news, and it was this family talking about this woman was a white woman who was a high school teacher, and her husband was Mexican and he's illegal, and they wouldn't show his face for fear of what may happen to him. So they showed her and their two kids. And to hear these two children, teenage girls, talk about preparing for the day that, maybe daddy doesn't come home, and what their contention plan is, I said, it really shook me to my core and went, this is not America. This is not American. This is wrong. And
it's not the difference in conservative politics and fiscal responsibility versus, a difference of opinion. It's pretty major rift that hopefully will start to resolve itself if things go well.
Well, think about a nation of immigrants that's talking about mass deportations. I mean, what a polar shift in the very foundation of what this country was built upon.
Well, the comparison between what is happening now and in 1930s Germany is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
The fact that it's that close.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be. There's no reason why it should ever have gotten like this.
I just don't understand how people that support Trump blindly act like the things that he's done, the things he's been accused of, convicted of, basically shown video that he's done these things. It's like, it's okay.
They don't care.
Okay. But, 10 years ago when Barack Obama walked out in a tan suit, they were burning his effigy.
Yeah.
God forbid. It makes no sense. I mean, they're supposed to be the party of conservatism, but they're allowing
it's gone past that.
Yeah. I think that,
remember with Bill Clinton? What happened with Bill Clinton? I mean, what happened with Bill Clinton is nothing compared to what's going on in the Trump camp. And they couldn't impeach that guy fast enough. And I think it's it's the turning a blind eye to the nonsense and the rhetoric and the lack of policy or anything he really wants to do is shocking to me, because they're intelligent. There's a lawyer in town who's a big name, and I heard that he supports Trump, and I said to myself, well, I would never hire him as a lawyer, because if he can't make this sensible decision about ignoring a candidate's flaws to the point of supporting Trump, how can I trust him with a case?
Maybe he's trying to get a job. If anybody needs lawyers, it's former president. So.
Trump would never pay him.
I didn't think of that.
I'm telling you, that's a way to keep employed right there.
Well, until he fires you when he loses.
Well, yeah, and getting paid might be an issue too. No, I was gonna say, unfortunately, it's bled over into my family reunions, because as Ken knows, and I think maybe if a couple of you guys, I think Jeff knows, I have a cousin who works in the White House, My first cousin Allie is a her and her husband both have been staffers for Biden since he was vice president, and then they worked other jobs. She worked for Emily's List for a while in between, but she's been the White House liaison for the Department of Transportation. And because of her relationship to the Bidens, because there are members of my family that won't talk to her, and you can ask for somebody that's like a nicer kid. I call her a kid. She's in her 30s, but to me, she'll always be a kid. She never brings up politics. She'd be the last one. I'm one of the most non-political people you could meet. She hooked me up with tickets to the White House. I got to do a West Wing tour after hours. It was cool.
Joining us now is Mr. Jeff Isherwood. How you doing, Jeff?
Good, very good, very good. Yeah.
LFA.
Welcome.
Hey, so what's happening over there? You all zipped up so far? Zipped up and ready to go.
Yeah, listen, we've gone a little way from the art and just talk about why we're all doing this, and we were explaining, that this is a really important election, and like I said, I have a child who's non-binary, and a lot of these political things they have I think everybody, all of these things affect everybody, and sometimes people are, and I just don't understand how you're willing to ignore certain just straightforward, just right and wrong beliefs, just to align with your political party. And that's, I think, one of my biggest problems.
Jeff, I don't think it's aligning with a political party. I think it's aligning with an ideology. And I think it's aligning with a fear-based reality, right? I mean, we've like, the people that are afraid of this sort of immigrant invasion, right? They're in Michigan. They're in places where there's nothing happening, right? But I was watching ABC News this morning, and they were running this thing about immigrants, and they showed this clip that was probably from 2016 or something, when they were showing all this massive wave of immigrants from El Salvador, right? And they're running this in the background while they're talking about this story. And I go, this person in their small town in the Midwest, who people who aren't, white scare them, see this, and they think there's something horrible happening, right? And it's this propaganda, this thing that's tapped into a portion of our society that I think we have to acknowledge. And I think we have to really get down to it and say, there's a part of this country that has some issues.
Yeah.
Like it really has some issues. I mean, we as a country, I think we're never going to heal if we don't talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if we don't talk about it honestly, you can distract me with trans bathrooms or blah, 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 blah. But the truth is, we're just, we're not cutting it. Even in a world standard, we're not cutting it.
Yeah. Listen, in a world where we're judging between hope and fear, that's the dangerous thing. But I do want to bring one other person on to the screen if I could. His piece is currently up for auction. And I want to introduce Mr. Art Adams, if you would join us on the screen here, sir. How are you doing today?
Doing all right. How are you guys doing today? Nice to see y'all.
Hey,
Art. Sir. Haven't seen you since. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And I'd like to thank you for doing that wonderful piece that you did.
Not at all. Thank you guys so much for doing this. This is amazing. It's very cool that we're bringing in some nice money for the campaign, and I'm more than happy to contribute.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm not shy in saying that I was bidding on this piece pretty furiously. I decided to step back and let some other people have a shot. I may go back into it in a couple of days. We'll see.
I won't try and stop you.
I can tell you it's funny. So when Bill got the art, we were talking about it. And, he said, "What should I start the auction at?" I said, "Start at $1."
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, "What?" I said, "It is not going to go for." It's going to go for. I said, but if you get a ton of bids on it, it'll help with the hour. He says, well, I need to ask Art. So he said he sent an email and he didn't get a response. And he said, I got to start the auction. I was like,
I'm allergic to email.
Send it. I said, start at $1, and Bill would not start at. I said, Bill, start at $1, and I will put $1,000 bill on it in a second. And he said, oh, I said, then just start. He started at $1,000, and like 20 minutes later, he goes, it's up to $6,000.
That was me. That was me.
Oh, that's very exciting, and I hope it brings in plenty.
Yes.
Maybe another billion.
There we go. So
how many of you? Question: how many of you have already voted?
I have.
Not me. No, not yet.
Not yet.
I vote day of always.
Yeah,
I
I'm a day
have,
of.
my absentee ballot from. I live up in Ottawa, in Ontario here, so.
That's smart. That's smart.
So,
I like day of, but I also like the convenience of the mail-in ballot.
Sure.
Yeah, well, I really wasn't able to get to Maryland right now, so
it's a long walk.
My daughter's at LSU, and we have to send her ballot to her so she can mail it back to Florida.
There you go.
She really wants to vote. So
nice. I think a lot of people do.
Yeah. I didn't think of that with the college kids. That some of them might be out of state.
Oh yeah, it's a big problem.
Yeah.
And
there's so many states
or if they're in red states, register there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hey, before I would love to hear the story, because I know you guys talked about it briefly earlier, but Art, because I was doing a con in Washington State and I got back and I was like, Bill went, oh, look at this. And I went, oh my God. And so I didn't even know that like you had contributed to the auction. So I'm thrilled and excited. And I love that piece of art. But you guys were saying there was a little story. I guess this happened at the New York con.
I ran into Bill. Yeah, it's mostly an embarrassing story of me constantly being behind on my deadline. So I was actually hoping to have this piece available much sooner. But as I was saying, deadlines got in the way. But it's done now, and hopefully we can still help.
Did you send it to Bill, or do you still have it, Art?
I still have it right here.
Oh, go full screen, Ken.
There we go.
Hold on.
There you go.
Oh,
wow.
11 by 17. It was nice of Bill to call it cover quality.
Yeah.
It is.
I don't think just Bill would call it cover quality.
Yeah. I think you ran out of paper there. That thing is more than edge to edge.
I did run out of paper. This is why I generally work bigger than this, to make that less likely.
Well, it's a fantastic piece, and you and all the other artists who have donated for this cause, we greatly appreciate it. And
it's awesome.
Gonna make a difference.
It's awesome. Well, I saw Mr. Mignola had contributed to it, so I couldn't get left behind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he did that beautiful piece. There's been so many nice pieces there. That Bruce Timm piece was really sweet.
Yeah. Everybody's been very generous with their time and with their artwork, and it's so great. And there's just some fantastic fun pieces in there that are just sort of unusual. And then some people who didn't have time to do fresh pieces have just donated existing art, and that's been great too.
Time is a thing when you're self-employed.
Yeah.
and it's cool too, because we wanted to make this available to, entry-level artists up to seasoned professionals, and to be able to create, that kind of community where everybody was able to contribute. So that's been kind of fun of this, the fun of it too, right?
Nice. Yeah,
because it really is. It's cool to be able to see, like you said, some of those fun kind of new pieces from people you may not know, alongside people who are household names.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Dave, when you and Bill first started, did you think there'd be this kind of response from the art community?
We thought we'd have a decent response. I think that we both initially we went, well, if we can raise $10,000, we'll be really happy with this.
Yeah.
And then we raised $10,000 on the first day, and we went, oh shit.
Art's piece might go for 10,000.
Yeah, so that's why I feel like, yes, oh, dude, I'm double crossing, because I went, you came in strong for the finish.
Nice.
But it was, we were just blown away, and I mean, you've got some of Sergio, Gary Trudeau. I mean, the names that have contributed to this, just insane, right?
Thanks,
and what a beautiful community of people coming together for a good cause and people getting great art. That's a win-win, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We were in New York hanging out in the lobby eating pizza, and Jeff came over with Mike DiCarlo, and we were talking about it, and he said, "Oh, I'd like to donate some pieces," and then he turned around and gave Bill some pieces that are up for auction right now. Let me show you some of that stuff.
Yeah, let's look at all of the art we got going on. Not just
Yeah.
art, but we've got tons of great pieces here. One of my favorite ones from an artist I didn't even know who they were. They did a Super Grover, and it was just so unexpected to see the wide range of different like art. Some of it's political, some of it's not political. It's just from all different sort of things, and just sometimes you see pieces like that, and it just kind of hits you where you're just like, oh my god, that's just like a great fun thing, and I get to buy this, and it goes to a great cause. So thanks to everybody who has added to the cause here and picked up a great piece of art.
Here's
as
a
well.
piece that Jeff did.
Let's see. Put it up there, Ken. We don't got it.
Oh, you don't have it? Hold on.
Nope.
I can't see my screen while I'm sharing stuff.
All we're looking at right now are those Marvel superheroes again.
There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Really nice one. Yeah.
That's Jeff's. That's great.
That's just
Yeah, it's funny how this and the other Black Panther one were both kind of targets from Felonious himself. He's targeting people, women. He's targeting people of color,
right?
All for his. I don't know. I get the feel that he's trying to push his white male base to try to outvote everybody else.
Well, it's working
at the expense of everybody else.
Yeah.
And
working to stay out
he's
of
always
prison.
trying to, like lately, what he had in Madison Square Garden, he was bringing up a bunch of people from the Arab communities, and because he's going with the anti-Palestinian, the anti-Israel thing. That whole thing in Palestine is a big mess anyway. But you have to go back to origins of how all that started, if you can find them exactly. But at the same time, to me, it's a very strong anti-Semitic message he's pushing. And then what he says about Puerto Rico, he must feel like he's lost the Latina and Latino vote already. That he can.
It seems unlikely he'd be
trying to run them down and try and bring. It's always the message of trying to find somebody else you can push down below you, and set people against each other. It's a constant. It's going to be a constant process every election, and it all feeds into his entire playbook, which he's not as stupid as we may think at times. It's a very clever playbook for him.
Well, it's a racist playbook that just comes naturally for him.
And pick the right person here, who we're looking at right now.
Well, you have to look at morality. Steve brought that up earlier. Like it's a really simple thing, right? It's mind-boggling. I would love to. Can we go back to Steve's piece for a second?
Sure. Yeah.
Because I want to talk about Daniel's art, but I want to talk about. There it is.
Yeah, the Rogue.
Yeah. So, Steve, since we've got you here, let's talk about this a little bit. Tell us about it. What the inspiration and all of it.
Well, a lot of it was just because I know she's very, very popular. She's a character I designed for X-Men Evolution, or for this version of the character. Especially among South America, which doesn't help us necessarily, but she's really popular. They call her Vampira in Brazil. And
Vampira? I had no idea. That's nice.
Yeah, that's kind of, and they watch the show constantly still. Even though it's been off the air for 25 years almost, They're constantly watching the show and they're cosplaying it. And, just at San Diego, this last San Diego, I had almost a dozen girls dressed as this character come up to me. So,
Wow.
it have a lot to do with the Buffy homage on X-Men Evolution. I was the animator of those scenes. I animated the scenes, and we also had Kraft homage and Coyote Ugly and all types of stuff that we were trying to subliminally work into the show so that people understood that it was a positive female messaging show, and it seemed to work.
I'm sad Jeff had to step away for a minute because he's a huge Buffy fan like I am. But I was watching that scene when I first saw the cartoon, and I was like, this looks so familiar.
Yeah. The producer was a huge Buffy fan, and I had not been familiar with it, but I became very familiar with it very quickly. And, we just wanted to insert that. In fact, in the opening credits, we did a couple of lifts as well. Characters turning to camera and stuff like that, where we used Buffy imagery and such. So.
Oh, that's amazing.
Excellent.
Very cool. Very cool.
It's some great art. Is that the question you asked him right there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it popped up on my screen too. So yes.
There we go. Yeah.
Thanks.
But let's. So all right. So
the auction ends Saturday, I believe.
For mine?
For
I believe
art,
it does.
and Art's
That's
going to come back on, I think, and be.
That is the plan. I'm going to pop in. I may spend a little more time on Saturday. I'm going to step away from you guys shortly because I have to go make my kid dinner.
Sure.
Oh, awesome.
Well, thank you.
Have to make decisions. Do they make spaghetti
see you on
tonight?
Saturday.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not leaving just yet.
So wait a minute. What is spaghetti or what else?
Spaghetti or bison ribeye.
Really?
But it's Taco Tuesday, Art.
No, the tacos. You weren't here. Tacos were here Sunday. Sorry. And they were very, very good.
I think I'm leaning towards bison. I think I'm. That's.
Well, if it helps at all, I may also be using ground bison for the spaghetti.
Oh, all right. So they're still getting the bison both ways. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, bison both
fat.
ways. That's the name of my next punk rock band.
Yeah, well, very smart. Who's making the t-shirts?
Are you making the sauce yourself?
So I'll be cheating a little bit. I'll make a big chunk of the sauce, and then I'll mix in some store-bought jar sauce because I'm not confident in my sauces.
I was hoping it was all original. I was going to say maybe we could put this as a kicker.
I've thought about that, and I can do that, but I really like this Rayo sauce.
Yeah, that's the best stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty nice stuff, and the Arrabbiata to have a little spice to it, which I like.
We'll turn this from like a comic book influence thing to who are your cooking influences? How did you get your style?
What show did you watch?
While we have Mr. Art Adams here, I have to show one of my favorite. If my house was burning down, I'm grabbing this piece.
Hey, you know what? That's a pretty nice piece. That's not a bad one. That's although I save yourself first, and any possible loved ones or pets, and then maybe go back to that one. Depends on how you feel about your pets.
Occasionally, I'll have artists will come to my house, and they get up to it like this. They're like, look at all that cross hatching. And
did you get the book that Jason put out? I think he did that as a 2-page spread in the Art of Me book from from last year, I think.
Really? I didn't.
Yeah, you don't have
Art
that one?
of Me book
right there. Yeah, Jeff has it right
How
there.
do I not know this, Jeff?
You get in contact with with Jason Schachter, and I'm sure he can hook you up.
Yeah, I see him at shows all the time. So
of course,
that's awesome.
I
had no idea.
But we all
There
kind
it
of
is right
blame
there.
Jeff. Yeah, we all kind of blame Jeff for not telling Ken.
Wow, look at that, man. Sometimes you see things in print and they just take on a whole other life, don't they?
Yeah.
it is. It is a different thing. I've often thought from the beginning of my career that the most important part was the printed page. It didn't matter what it took to get to that point, but that it is a significantly different thing. And even when I was working with inkers, the pencil art and the ink art are really kind of two different things.
And each brings something to the table, right?
Absolutely.
So the art takes on a life of its own through that process.
Absolutely. That's what I've seldom given inkers enough time to actually ink my stuff, but then never been fully satisfied just because I change stuff as I'm inking, as I'm sure we all do when we're doing this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so it for me, it kind of loses a little bit of the life when someone else inks it. Yeah, we all have our own processes. I'm sure they're similar and still wildly different.
But that comes from a love of your art too, don't you think? That when you're in that creative, like in that moment, and you're in that moment of zen with your art, what's in your head, and you're the only person that can put it onto that page.
Yes, I guess I'm sometimes confusing love with obsession, but I suppose that's kind of the same thing. Can be anyway.
You're right.
It's in the same zip code.
Yeah, I think it's often you find people who are pure inkers. There are inkers who are very slick and technically very proficient.
Sure.
And I myself, I ink my own work a lot, and I know I'm not that type of inker at all. As you say, for me, inking is another editing step in the drawing process.
Yeah.
I go through at least 3 stages of penciling to get it ready. I try not to over pencil because I want to leave stuff just a plain draw in the inking. But inking is really is drawing the picture again. And like you said,
yes.
I mean, I find when I'm inking, if I go back and look at the pencil lines, I follow them rather infrequently. and you're not really trying. It's just draw the picture. And now, as you say, this is what's going to be printed. And that's what you really want to bring to life.
It is the most important part. I've only inked other people a few times, and I enjoyed doing it. I don't know how the people I inked felt about it. The few times I did it was for people who had been established a lot longer than I had. I inked Don Heck thing, and that was fun. I inked a Jim Mooney one, which I kind of enjoyed a little bit less, but I don't know how he ever felt about that one. And then I inked Al Milgram, and Al's a pussycat, so Al was happy. I think he also likes getting revenge because he inked me a couple of times, so he was happy to have me ink him.
Turnabout's fair play. I like it.
If you ink the right people, certain people, you are learning from them at the same time. I think that's what's kind of fascinating by not just looking at somebody's drawing, but really drawing over it. And then you sort of get into their mind space and kind of how they really draw, because the structure of lines is not what you do naturally. So you have to allow yourself to say, I'm just going to go in their direction. I found when I inked a few of Barry Windsor Smith pages, it really helped because I found a lot of what he was doing he was not, of course, super realistic on purpose, but his line and arm and his leg was very deliberate. And I thought, there's no guesswork in his, and there's no, I wouldn't say that. There's no uncertainty, I would say. When he puts the line down, boom, that's what he wants to draw. Yeah. And I found that was really good. I like that.
I certainly found it very educational very early in my career when he was inking over Herb Trimpe on Machine Man. Because he brought so much of that, and much the same way that maybe to a lesser degree than when I was a kid. I was so shocked by Herb Trimpe being inked by John Severin. That stuff was just so beautiful.
I have a quick question for you guys, because this is something for me personally, because I ink a lot of my own work, and I always find that I like my pencils a lot better than I like my inks, and I go. My pencils feel lively and energetic, and I can feel them. And when I ink them,
That is the thing.
they look stale every time. It's very rare that I ink something and go, yeah, that has the same life to it that my inks do. And I started doing sketch cards at Comic-Cons just in pencil because I like the pencil so much better than I do the ink. And I think I'm a good inker. So I want to hear what you guys, how you think in your head about your ink.
So my wife says I'm a terrible teacher, and so this is my teaching on feeling badly about how you ink yourself. Don't do that. just ain't get. There's people are gonna. There's like when I draw stuff, it's very rare that I finish something and think that I've done a particularly good job. People keep paying me, so I keep doing it, which I like. But I don't generally really like my own stuff. So I imagine the people when you ink yourself and people see it, they're probably not seeing the problems that you're seeing.
Guys, Larry Hama mentioned a couple of things to me before. He said, well, people will tend to take pencils and they either make them looser or they'll make them tighter. And so you kind of have to see which direction you go. But he says, if you're able to do both, that puts you ahead. So if you're able to take something like a hand, well, I don't know, a hand, but something that you want to be really careful with, that's one thing. But if you're doing hair, flowing hair, you want to be able to go flowing, right? But if you need something to be, say you have to do a medallion or something that has to be really careful, you can do that too. So you just want to be aware of texture and these sort of things so you can put that variety in the inking. In the end, it's going to look like yours anyway. You don't have to worry about that. As I was teaching for a while, students always said, well, how am I going to make a style? And I said, your style is just grows out of your own personal aesthetic of shapes and forms that you like, colors, all of this. What do you like looking at? That's what's going to come out in your art as your style. So don't worry about it. Just the better you get, your style, your own look will become more individualistic. So,
and deadlines have a big effect on how your style is going to develop as well.
Sorry?
Deadlines have a big effect on how your style is going to develop.
Yeah, well, see, that's part of it, because you might say, if you don't like, Dave, I don't know, if you don't like your inking because you find it's, loses some life, then draw a little quicker.
More cocaine.
That's what you learn for deadlines. You use a few less lines, and you're a little quicker, and you don't worry about it. Here's another one for you. What artists do you like looking at that draw nothing like you? How about that one? And then try to bring some of that in.
Well, there's a good point. So you made me think about two things, okay? Because I'm pulling my animation hat into this, right? And I go. Back in the day, when I left Pinky and the Brain, I went over to Sony and I was on Dilbert for a season or two, however long that show lasted, right?
So sorry.
I really didn't like the show at all. And I was a character designer on it, and it was just these characters were just horribly boring, right? And formulaic. So during that time, I was really into Rage Against the Machine, and I'd put my headphones on and I inked my character designs. So I wasn't doing it like everybody else was. I was doing it old school because I started out doing it that way, right? So I would literally put my headphones on and I'd get my pen out and I'd just start bouncing and drawing and not giving a F about what was going around, around me. And I had fun doing it. And that's something that, I think when you talk about getting loose as an artist, how do you have fun doing it, right? How do you because when we get focused on the deadlines and we get focused on all of that stuff, at least for me, I'm thinking about, okay, I got to get this done. And sometimes that gets me loose. But I'm not getting loose in a way that I'm having fun with it. I'm getting loose in a way that I just got to get through it, And then to your other point, who do you like that you wish you could emulate? Ralph Steadman.
I was just about to mention Ralph Steadman now.
I go I think about even if I could I just letter like this guy, right? You know what I mean? But I go, talk about expressing yourself as an artist in this intensely unique way. I go, man, like, can I grab a little bit of that lightning at some point in my career? You know,
There was a show years ago that I was with Bill Sienkiewicz, and I just discovered Ralph Steadman. I knew that Bill liked Ralph Steadman, so I was doing drawings for him of Gumby in Ralph Steadman style.
oh, I'd love to see those.
So there's lots of shattered crow quills. Because you put enough pressure on them, they pop, and they give that magic splash of ink that just looks insane. Instantly looks insane.
Yeah, I've got a way now. I can take the tip, and I don't do it backwards. I do it forward, and I
Yeah.
And that's part of the thing. This is something else about drawing on so-called traditionally on paper that the digital artists and those that never really draw on paper are missing entirely.
Yeah.
When you put a line down, there's wet ink on the paper. You use that ink to keep going, and you can take the tip and you go and make a little splat. You can do all kinds of things, and it's part of the thing is like, don't worry about being clean. Don't worry about any of it. The thing, just go for it. And the other thing that struck me recently was we talk about, we might realize, what's the difference between our art working at home by ourselves and performance art, say on stage or theater or music? I said, well, the real difference is when we're drawing at home, we are performing just for ourselves as we do the drawing, because you hardly notice the pencil or pen tip, right? You just see the drawing starting to appear before you. Yes, you're drawing it, but you're also watching it happen. So that is a type of performance. And that is in terms of commerce, everything is so result based. But for us, it's the time spent doing the art that matters. So worrying about I don't know if I'm going to like it or not, you kind of have to throw that out the window and just draw. And then afterwards, you might say, hey, that actually comes out better than I expected. Or some of the stuff I just let be a bit more spontaneous. Like you said, it's your headphone thing. And, for some of us, sometimes I have a hard time letting go of that sometimes. And sometimes I got to remember, don't worry about it. Just do this thing. And then you look at it after, and is the overall effect what you want? Is the idea of the illustration coming across what you want? Everybody goes, oh, I love the little details. No, that's the icing on the cake. What's the overall picture? Is it really, are you getting the idea across? And that's what matters first. And there you go. That's my my words on the subject.
I love it, man. I love it. I'm inspired by this whole conversation today.
We'll have to send a bill.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's just get those auction numbers up, right? Then we'll
Absolutely, guys. So
more money.
Yeah. So remember, we got all these. We have auctions ending in around 2 hours, and then several over the next couple of days, and then Art's Beautiful Asgardian Storm Piece will be ending in about 4 days, and we're gonna try and do a little live show and get Art back and watch it all the way to the end, and hopefully it does hit a really nice number. Listen.
$1 billion.
$1 billion is what we're going for.
Billion.
Hey, listen, Kamala did it right when she joined the race.
Man.
So
Good luck, guys. Thank you so much. Please, people, bid like crazy. I'm gonna go make my kids some food.
There you go.
Thanks,
and we'll find out on Saturday.
Take pictures. We want pictures of that food.
Yeah. Is it spaghetti or is
so
it?
This is gonna have to wait
spicy?
until I have to check and see what veg we have, because I know we have veg for pasta, but I don't know what veg I have for the rib.
Doesn't matter. Throw anything in there. You throw in what you got. That's the whole
I'll throw
idea,
in
right?
some uncooked black beans.
Just play some Rage Against the Machine while you're cooking. That's what we learned from this conversation.
Oh yeah, make some chili with it. That's good. Yeah.
I'm definitely leaving. Thanks, guys.
Take care, Art.
Thanks. See ya.
Save yourself.
There you go.
Well,
Exactly.
I'll probably nod off too. I've got to. I'm penciling as we're going along, because I've got 3 pages left of my Savage Sword story I got to finish.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I got to see some of that stuff while we were in New York.
Yeah, what I'm doing right now.
Beautiful.
Oh man, go full screen on that.
For the love of God, make them big.
Can I?
For
Yeah.
the love
Okay. Here.
of God, man,
Can you
make
do that?
it.
So it's
Ooh.
this is my
Wow.
penciling with those are like pine trees at the top. I don't know. Can you do the screen up again?
Yeah, go full screen. Hold on, we're gonna go full screen.
Yeah, that's not. See, this is what I'm penciling. This is kind of those are trees and rocks. So this is sort of my breakdown style. And then here I've done a little bit more for these guys.
We talked about this in New York. Yeah, how you kind of leave some of the black so you can kind of do some stuff with it when you're inking. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I just drop some X's in there, and then so this is there. Let me see what else I've got. A couple I just finished. I've got some rather risque
and we
stuff
saw
here.
Bill Morrison hop into the chat.
Hey,
Bill, thanks for joining.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, everyone.
Bill, I love that you joined like literally about 4 seconds after Art left.
Yeah, I think Art heard you coming.
A little bit more. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm teaching school tonight, so I was just able to get away.
Oh no, you got to teach.
Well, I hope your students are paying good attention and really doing their homework.
Well, it's a senior studio class, so they're all working on their thesis projects.
Oh, good. Well, in that case, since it's senior, you're probably going to have some good results there. Sometimes the kids aren't always into it, but you're a little bit older. I find, and when I was teaching too, I had, people at my age all the way down to their early 20s. And definitely the older ones have lived a bit more life, and they're going, if I really want to make something of an art career here, I really have to apply myself, and they've learned more, So that's it's probably quite gratifying to see them put that kind of effort in and get some good results.
Yeah, they're all in the home stretch, so
very nice.
That's kind of make or break. Yeah. So how's it going tonight?
It's going great. We were showing off a lot of the art that's up for auction. We talked at length about Art's piece that he has going on. It's at $6,500 right now, and we're hoping we can get that up a little higher before the end. But it's going awesome, I think. And you guys said to how much have you earned so far? Do you know off the top of your head, guys? Like in hand?
Bill?
It's over 35,000.
30. That's incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
$35,000. That's awesome.
Nice.
I haven't done the math because there's all the eBay fees that have to come out and taxes and all that.
Sure.
But yeah, it's a pretty good amount. I mean,
awesome.
when they asked me how much I thought we would make from this, when I started to see the art coming in, having done some auctions similar to this for St. Jude and for hurricane relief and things like that, I estimated 30,000. I said, I think we'll make 30,000 at least on this. And we did, and we're over that. So that's great.
Yeah, that's incredible.
There's some campaign people here.
And Bill, I just want to say we talked about this earlier, but I was out of town for a few days, and I got back and first of all saw that amazing piece by Art, which blew me away, and then we went onto the auction site, and there's a whole bunch of really great new listings. So you've been busy, young man, and I just want to say thank you, sir, for your incredible support and partnership all the way up until the end here. And what a way to finish strong, Bill. Yeah, really.
Well, you're welcome. I finally got the last of what I had in my studio shipped out on Monday. So yesterday, like the last 4 or 5 pieces went out.
That's
and the only reason those went out, most everything else was out by Saturday, and I ran out of packing material.
Oh,
I didn't have enough cardboard. So I was like, okay, I'm not just stuffing this stuff in envelopes and sending it out. I got to actually make sure it gets there in one piece.
Yeah. Welcome to Ken's daily life.
It's a struggle.
Also, I just have to say real quick, Dave, I'm very disappointed because last time you and I talked, you told me you were going to fight me for the Beetle Bailey piece.
Yeah.
And I showed up at New York, and Bill just handed it to me. So
Ah,
I didn't have to fight too hard for that.
no, you didn't, man. And I was gonna talk about the Art Adams piece and go, yeah, you'll have to fight me for this one too. And I went, I just am not in you guys' league, man. You guys are bidding crazy fools, man. I was like, I can't compete with you two.
Well, I don't know if Ken already mentioned this, but we were talking about starting it at $1 because Eric Powell said, start mine at $1. And we did, and it went to 2,500. And so we thought, we could start Arts that low, but I said, I'm not going to do that.
Whose idea was it to start at $1, Bill?
I think it was mine, but I'm not sure. Ken?
Oh yeah, was it yours?
I don't remember.
Good answer, Bill. Good answer.
No, you didn't want to. You were like $1. I was like, yeah. And I explained to him, how the algorithm will.
No. Because I remember now. I said it, and you went, "Oh, that's great." You started trying to convince me because I started backpedaling. I was like, "Well, I don't know," and then you kicked in and started trying to convince me.
Well, either way, it didn't last at $1 or $1,000 for very long.
I was going to say that was short-lived, regardless.
Well,
yeah,
I said I'm not going to do it. I said I'm not going to do it unless Art is okay with it. And because Art didn't get back to me in time for me to list it last night, I had to make a decision. So I called Ken and I said, I don't feel I can list this at $1 unless Art says yes. And Ken was still trying to convince me to list it for $1. And I said, okay, if I don't list it for $1, what should I start it at? Like, what would be the next thing, the next amount? And he said, well, it makes no sense to go. If you're not going to do $1, then do 1,000. So I said, okay. And I listed at 1,000 at like 7:30, something like that. And in less than an hour, I went back and checked on it, and it was over 6,000.
Jeez Louise.
That was me.
All right. So the back end of your story matches Ken's.
Well, all I can say is you can tell that I really have no say in how they do this stuff, because I would have had them do it for $1, buy it now, and just tell me when it came out. I would have hit it, and then I would have donated the $6,000 straight to the thing just to get the piece. But yeah, I once again, I'm with the rest of you guys. I'm going to keep bidding on this thing, and I think we can get this thing over 5 figures in the next 4 days, and that would be an amazing thing to do. So, and it's well worth it. And anybody who's seen the piece, we've had it up all night, knows it's probably going to become a cover.
Yeah,
so, values in it.
Yeah,
I've got the that piece I posted just before we got onto this podcast, and I got the strongest reaction on social media from anything I've posted since we put up the Bruce Timm piece.
Right.
And it was like people were like, "Oh my God!" Like I think somebody said, like, I think I might have to quickly give up a kidney.
Yeah.
So that's like the response has been tremendous. And shout out to Art for being like so gracious and like so much fun tonight on this live stream. He was just a blast, and really looking forward to him coming on Saturday. I think it's really cool. So
Oh yeah, no, it's going to be amazing to see where that ends. Start at 11 cents.
I'll be on. Yeah, good idea.
Yes, true that, Marcus.
I'll be on for Saturday night. Definitely. I don't want to miss that.
Yeah.
So you guys talked about Jeff's pieces and Steve's as well?
We did.
Yeah, and we were going to talk about Daniel's pieces a little bit because Daniel's been pretty prolific, and he's really contributed some great stuff. So I thought maybe we could take a little time to look at his art as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Ken, can you throw up Daniel's pieces if you get a sec?
And I kind of geeked out that Steve was part of the Buffy homage on X-Men Evolution.
Yeah,
and I caught the end into that when I had to leave the room for a second, but so I appreciate you calling me out. Yeah, Bacon and I are huge Buffy fans, and that was to see that animated and just be like, it's like that meme with Leonardo DiCaprio. You're like, I know what that's from. I know what that's from.
Every 6 months, someone new discovers it and acts like they're just discovered the whole world.
That's Steve's piece. That's just that's great.
And Steve, you were saying what What do they call her in Brazil?
Vampira.
Wow.
They've got a whole thing going on in Brazil. It's amazing. They just love that show for some reason. Not that
it's a pretty good show,
but yeah, it's a
pretty good show.
Yeah, I think so too. But I mean, it's still to this day, they're cosplaying it all the time and reenacting it and everything. It's kind of amazing.
Well deserved.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely well deserved.
I'm always really fascinated by name changes. Excuse me. I'm at the end of my voice here from teaching. We did a critique in my earlier class, so I'm all talked out. But I'm obsessed with name changes in different countries because sometimes they're really funny. Sometimes they're there's a very good reason why they make the name changes. Like the Chevy Nova in, I think in Spain, it means doesn't run.
No va.
Yeah.
No go.
No go.
Doesn't
go.
No go.
So they had to change that. My favorite, though, my all-time favorite is in China, because the first Terminator movie was called Devil King. Every other Arnold Schwarzenegger movie in China after that has Devil King in the title. So that they can piggyback on Terminator. So the title of Kindergarten Cop is Devil King of Children.
Oh, gee.
They just keep waiting for him to have a robot arm or something.
Oh, Jesus.
How does it is not a tumor?
Yeah.
In Chinese.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy. I like that movie. That was a good movie. I've watched it a couple times. It's fun,
And I thought there was something with France where you have to have at least one French word in the title. I think it's France. So any
Probably
word, any title of a movie that has that has a single word and it's the same in English and in French, they have to just add another word to it, whether it's in the beginning or the end. I think it's French. But it is pretty funny when they have to change stuff up just because. That's great.
It's funny in Quebec. A lot of times, what they do is, it's the law. You have to say everything in French first, and then you can put English in half the size letters. I guess the idea is that English people can see better. We can read smaller letters, but but a lot of the time is that it's a French word that is easily translatable for even the people that don't speak French. But one interesting thing about Canada is that packaging in general is bilingual English and French. So any products you buy in the store, you can always see the French name of it. So people know a lot more French than they really realize. But it's like in the US now, you see Spanish on, written double, written on labels as well. So you get English and Spanish on a lot of stuff. So you just get more familiar with other languages just from.
Well, at least for the next 5 days.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. Well, are they going to have a
Sorry for
Spanish
my
name for paper towels after?
I was busy all weekend and I missed the Madison Square Garden, whatever it was.
The Nazi rally, yeah.
In this
hate rally,
colored joke that I didn't see the joke, I didn't see anything. I just keep hearing echoes of some really poor Puerto Rico joke. So
there is bad comments about almost every minority.
Really?
That was the one that got the biggest news.
Who was the
attention.
comedian? Who was the comedian?
Well, he's a roasting comedian, so he's sort of a shock comedian, anyways. Why you would have him come on
Because
and not?
they see that is weird.
Yeah.
Or in politics,
He plays into the fascist playbook, which is really true. Was Robert Reich, if you follow any of his stuff, he had a kind of an interesting examination on his YouTube channel of 5 stages of fascist propaganda and like a campaigning thing to say, is Trump really, is he an authoritarian or is he doing the fascist thing? And so he goes through, and it's very interesting to check that out if you haven't. And then you realize all along he's picked up on this playbook, as it were, and on his side of the coin, you see it's quite clever. The one thing he said, though, that and I only picked this up on a clip because I really try to refuse to watch him, is that he said, well, is everybody doing better than they were 4 years ago? And everybody was yelling, no. And I'm going, 4 years ago, we're in the throes of the pandemic. You mean you're actually doing worse than then? Do people have no memory? But it sort of struck me that the bottom line is a lot of these people, they don't really care about any of the other stuff. You talk about the morality, you talk about the bigotry, foreign policy means nothing to them. They only want to make sure if this is a president who's going to get them more money. It's the bottom line. Follow the money. We want the money. If I can get an extra $50,000 a year, screw Puerto Rico. Let it sink into the ocean. I don't give a damn. That's the mentality. It's only about the money. And the rest is virtue signaling.
There's a hate. There's a hate for people doing better than they are, the middle class, the upper middle class, and the minorities are doing better, and they shouldn't be. He's tapped into, and I don't think he really cared or wanted to, but he got lucky because he hates those people. He tapped into the working poor
and this is a systemic problem, isn't it?
It's really interesting. Is last night I hadn't been able to sleep, so I watched The Irishman, right? Yeah. And watching that movie last night, right, before this election, I couldn't help draw comparisons between like Jimmy Hoffa and Donald Trump, like Hoffa's fake assassination attempt in court and his bravado. It's like his union, and he was so far removed from the actual union members, but they looked at him as this working class hero. Even though he really truly didn't represent them, they thought of him as that. And there's this strange phenomenon that we're existing through right now where reality is taking a back seat to a hope or a belief in a way of life that never existed, and in a type of world that never was. I heard somebody say to Candace Owens, what period in America do you want to make great again? You want to go back to what? What period of America are you referring to? And she couldn't answer the question. And I go, that to me is at the crux of it, right? Like where do you really want to go back to?
Well, most of them want to go back to when white straight men ran everything and had all the power.
Yeah, well, yeah, they want it to be like it was when the people who didn't have anything were quiet, and all the things that people
knew their place
wasn't put in your face. They want people to go back to the way where it was. If you want to be gay, you do it out of my face. If you want to, it's okay to have monuments to Confederates running down the street, and because minorities always just dealt with it, that meant they didn't care. It didn't mean they didn't care. It meant they didn't think they couldn't do anything about it. And these are the things that people want to go back to. They don't want to be reminded of all these things that all the time. They want it to be when they were at the top and everybody else sort of just kind of, made do with what they had. And that's what make it great again. It really means.
But doesn't it feel like it's a desperate attempt to cling to power, right?
Oh,
And,
it is.
and preying upon the most vulnerable people in this country to obtain it, right? And literally, we, you know, after these two back-to-back hurricanes, convincing Americans that your federal government isn't there to help you, and having these people refuse help and send militias out, right, to go after FEMA workers because they've reached this heightened state of fear, is, to me, is just, we've reached like truly the point of crazy. It just doesn't even feel like in a rational society we can have this kind of debate, but we are.
Hey guys, I've got to get back to class.
Okay.
All right, Bill. Hey,
All right,
thanks for
thanks,
stopping in.
Bill.
Bye, Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
Okay. Thank you so
Great
much,
seeing
Bill.
everybody.
Thanks for
You're
asking
welcome.
for those covers too.
Yeah,
Oh,
Bill,
you're
thanks
welcome.
for adding all that
Thank
extra
you.
stuff.
Yep,
Thank
and we'll
you,
see
guys.
you on Saturday for the live end of the Art Adams auction. That'll be fun.
I see you, Becker.
I got
Very cool.
stats
In
here.
stores right now.
Yeah. Okay. See you guys on Saturday.
All right, buddy.
Right.
All right.
I'm gonna have to nod off too because I gotta keep going with this, and so we'll keep an eye on the auctions and
Yep.
maybe check back in on Saturday evening. We'll see how it's looking.
Absolutely.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Jeff.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank
Pleasure,
you.
man. Thank
Take
you.
care.
Great
Jeff.
conversation, and I like talking about the art better, but just the old thing. It's just like 10 years into this running around, and hopefully we'll be able to. The country will put. It's not going to put a stop to it, but at least the figurehead, the head of the snake, can be left dangling in Mar-a-Lago somewhere.
There you go.
Because I
Or in prison
I don't know if you all heard. When we were at New York, I spoke with one of the fans. Came by the table looking at my stuff. There is a New York City prosecutor. He knows the judge who's in that case that convicted Trump, and he said he himself has tried many cases of this fraudulent business himself, and everybody's always wound up in prison that got convicted. He said the only mitigating factor is Trump's age. He said at 79, it's very unlikely he would really go to prison just because of that. However, they'd be talking something like house arrest, and house arrest means no more golf. That would be bad. But the other thing is no internet, and that is that really cut down on a lot of stuff. If he has no access to that, that would be a kind of interesting. My other question is, I didn't get to ask was, legally speaking, he owes $400 and some odd million by now. If he isn't paying it, can the courts therefore liquidate assets of his to cover those fines? I wonder about this. So
My guess is he doesn't have assets that will cover any of that.
He for example, he's got those 2 Trump towers in Manhattan, especially the Trump Soho. That is 70%. All the condos were bought by either Russians or anonymous. So that's a giant money laundering scheme that he's been running. But he has properties that could be sold for quite a lot of money. That's true, and golf courses.
But whether or not he has access to the proceeds from those,
Right.
Well,
That's
a good question.
Yeah. They're
My
not.
guess is he's not.
Trump Tower isn't owned by Trump. It's got his name on it, but he had to. His portion of the ownership of that building is very small compared to.
So that's another big question. Do they even have access to stuff and whatever? But nevertheless, if he's out of the picture, that really would help, and naturally.
My guess is head to Russia if he can get.
That's what I was thinking all along. If he's
we know Melania will.
Say hello to Vladdy, and you figure,
This
where
whole
did this all come
thing
from?
is about him staying out of jail.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
That's what it's been all along. Like you say, all along. That's the first thing I thought of. This guy's committed we'll never even know 5% of what he's been up to. We'll never know. But go to Russia, go see Vladdy, have Vladdy's probably not too happy with him right about now.
No, my guess is if he'll go to Russia, but he won't survive there because they don't like assets that fail very well.
That's right. What are we've counted now 55 individuals who have crossed Putin in one way or another, either militarily or politically. 55 deaths caused by him that we know of. So yeah, this is the thing that gets me is Trump became president of the wrong country. That's what I always figure. He was better off trying to go over to a place like that and be a dictator in some country.
Yeah, but
don't do it here.
You're missing the Shakespearean quality of Donald Trump. See, I grew up on the East Coast, and Donald Trump was not a beloved figure in my childhood. He was looked at as a buffoon. New Yorkers hated him. Yep. So when Barack Obama lampooned him at that dinner, the switch flipped for Donald Trump. And this is about a man looking for love. He doesn't want love in a foreign country. He wants love in America. He wants love from New York. And so this is a man that's looking, that's trying to replace daddy with the country. Becker, thank you so much. I'm going to say goodbye as well. Sure. Jeff?
Yeah, we rode together, so we got to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm riding with you, man. So hold on. All right. And do you have the heat warmers on?
I already started it. I started the car.
Have you got a nasty thunderstorm going on? I keep looking like this because we got some boomers right here.
It looks like it. But anyway, Jeff, are you going to join us on Saturday?
Yeah, I'll get a link from you all, yeah, it looks very likely. You're going to do that same time Saturday evening? I'm not sure when the things are over.
Yeah, we'll see. It's definitely going to be in the evening. It might be early evening. We'll have to see what the exact time is going to be. But yeah, we'll let you know as soon as we do.
Okie dokie.
Well, for Jeff and Becker and for Dave, thank you guys so much, and we'll probably end it here pretty soon, guys. But thank you, Steve, for coming on so much. And as you pointed it out, listen,
thank you. We'll see you guys.
And go Kamala. That's right. The one.
Yes. Bid and vote.
There
you go. All right, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Dave.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jeff. And yeah, just us here, guys, and we're gonna call it an evening. Just to remind you guys again, Saturday, the 8th, Friday night, Bacon is doing a live show from North Carolina with
Danny Strips.
And then after that we've got Ken, who is next.
We have hold on.
I remember who we have after that one, but I know the middle.
Well, we're gonna have Matt Horak on. We haven't rescheduled. We're gonna have Mike Kazala on the 12th.
Mike Kazala, and then June Brigman and her husband.
Roy Richardson.
So there we go. Back to sketching, guys. Back to affordable art that everybody can have, and there's lots of affordable pieces in the Kamala auction. If you guys check those out, see if any of those go to you. Otherwise, we'll be back just like normal. Same bat time, same bat channel, but not next week because that's election day. But we'll visit you in 2 weeks, guys. And remember, the 8th for the special show, and vote. And everybody have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.